Meteoroids are coming rapidly towards the Earth. And in no time they will land on Earth. There was a boy named Al who was standing in the sea on a boat. He has to carry the luggage on the boat, but the other guy's boat couldn't carry the heavy load of 1 ton, rather it can only take 600 kilograms. He takes the luggage by claiming deceptively that the weight of the luggage is only 600 kilograms. Consequently, he pays the heavy price that his entire luggage sank into the water along with the ship. By all means, Al and the owner managed to be at the beach. He has to give money to the ship owner, but he was already bankrupt and has nothing to do but exchange his car. Hence, he visits the bank where he meets Sutlana, his childhood friend. She works here as a cashier and Al needed a bank loan. Sutlana becomes astonished by the loan amount, which was 1 million. She added further that no bank could give him that amount without reliable security. Al turns into sadness, and then Sutlana asks him to meet her father at home so he might help him. They were school friends, and she later sits in his old bumpy car towards her house. The large family of Sutlana has ambitious dreams, and her father wished everyone to live together. Her elder sister wants to be an artist. Her brother wants to join the army, but he is a patient with asthma and always gets rejected. Her younger sister wants to be young to do everything that girls do. Later on, Al discusses his trouble with her father and appeals for help. Further, he offers him a commission for the very purpose. But her father rejects him after insulting him. The meteoroid comes closer to Earth rapidly, and it collapses at Sutlana's house and undertakes a massive hole on the floor. All of them start to rush outside. Later they observe those meteoroids falling everywhere in the city. Suddenly, they get to know that they have left their father inside and all rush towards him to save him. After getting him out, Al suggests putting out the meteoroid so they can sell it on the market. All agree upon his suggestion and start digging. Everyone goes to sleep after getting exhausted, but Al doesn't lose hope as he was indebted. Later he finds the meteoroid and brings it out. At that instant, the grandfather calls him and dies later. He becomes dejected and unaware of how to tell this to his family. He goes to Sutlana, but she was tired and couldn't get up. The younger brother of Sutlana appears and informs him that the meteoroid turned into liquid. He added that Dad mistakenly falls that liquid on the floor, which spreads everywhere. After the sprinkle of a meteoroid, everyone bestows with a superpower. Sutlana's sister turns into Superman and can break everything. Her elder sister could fly in the air. Sutlana acquires the ability to disappear. This superpower can be used only when all family members are together. Al takes the sisters of Sutlana to the doctor for a checkup if they undergo any trouble. But the doctor declares that there is nothing to be worried about. On coming back home, all were dining together. Later Al comes and suggests to them, use your power to earn some money for benefits so that they can be rich. As usual, their father ignores him. Later younger brother enters to state about his power. He tells he could speak to the animals. He could easily understand what the dog is saying. Meanwhile, we watch Al who tries to bend the rod, but he couldn't. Everyone except Al has power. He feels bad because he is the one who founded that meteoroid. Early in the morning, we see Sutlana's father at his toilet breathing long and getting out of the house. He can teleport anywhere he wants. Later on, Sutlana takes everyone to the lake, where everyone practices their power and everyone seems quite happy. Al suggests robbing the bank. He at any cost wants to repay the money of that Don. So, he suggested the ideas, but Sutlana rejects them. Al becomes sad and leaves to sit in the car. Later Sutlana also accompanies him, and both leaves from there. Suddenly a car stops nearby, and the man to whom he promised to return $1 million comes near and demands his money with the threat of selling his organs in China. Al becomes terrified and appeals for 1 more week and requested a week. Meanwhile, Sutlana hears everything and gets ready to rob the bank. In the next scene, Al and Sutlana leave for a bungalow with his father to greet him, but he doesn't agree. Sutlana tries to convince him while crying. She further declares she never demanded anything and this is her first and last wish. After her emotional blackmailing, her father agrees. He comes home and gathers them all to discuss the strategy to rob the bank. Al states they have to sit only in the car, rest will be done by Sutlana. She would enter the bank by being invisible and after looting, she would come back. It was an easy plan. Al was alone in the garden to practice his magic. Here Sutlana comes with holding a cup and being invisible. The next day all of them wish to present their powers to the public. Al rejects but agrees later as he needs them. They go into a theater and show their power to the director to earn money. In the next scene, we watch that Al becomes aware of his superpower that he can bring out water from his fingers. All of the family goes to a funeral agent. According to the wish of their grandfather, his funeral should be good. After that, Al and Sutlana's sister go for a meal. Some people over there come to tease Al. Sutlana's sister becomes furious and gives them a lesson. Finally, the time comes to rob the bank. All of them were waiting outside. Sutlana has to do everything but her dress was still invisible, which she removes too. After being invisible she enters the bank and acknowledges the codes and passwords officially. Later on, police pull their car and their range with her disconnects, impacting her being visible. According to the condition, they all have to live together. After watching this, trouble all comes out to bring everyone together. Sutlana becomes invisible. After a while, they come back and sit without money as police enters and one by one stop them. Sutlana's father goes away and the police come to them. They freed them. Well, Sutlana's father calls him and states that he doesn't know where he is. Police enter and open the van after they notice him in the van. On returning home, all becomes furious and declares them absurd and that they cannot rob the bank. Sutlana's sister, on hearing that, informs her about her theater show. On hearing all said that they will engage them all in theater and they will loot the bank. A lot of people come to watch her sister, and she gets nervous and flies up. Sutlana and all go to her to motivate. During this, Don sees him and captured him. His people beat him badly and get out in an injured condition in the theater. He insults their family by stating they can't do anything, whatever the power they got, it doesn't matter. They mind it and closed him in a car and decide to rob the bank at any cost. They reach and Sutlana's elder sister flies in and chains the door of the bank. Later, the younger one pulls out of the building. And along they bring a truck on road for the difficulty of police. After doing this all, the younger one pulls out all the drawers and throws them because she has the power of Superman. They put the lockers in the car. Later, police appear, but the brother cleverly sends all the dogs toward the police. They all escape. After a while, it turns morning, and all of them enjoy outside the city. Meanwhile, grandfather declares that it is the time for his death and asks them to leave. They all leave, and after a while grandfather dies. They all distribute money. After a while, Sutlana states that it isn't good to leave grandfather alone. All rejects and Sutlana minds after asking him to take his money and leave. All goes out angrily and gives $1 million to Don. With the remaining money, he was going to another country. He cannot take this money on the flight, so he ties that money with his body to save himself from customs. He was waiting outside, and on TV he watches Sutlana's family being arrested by police. But why did the police arrest them? When they went back to that funeral agent, he rejects to return his dead body. They offer him for $1 million, so he agrees. He suspects and informs to police. After investigation, police arrested them, but all appears with their grandfather. He never died and was buried alive. On the return of grandfather, everyone activates and starts using their superpower with tremendous destruction. The court turns into chaos, but before they could leave from there, the police arrive. Her sister goes up in the air, and by getting the chance, everyone runs away. They come to a port, and here we see the Don who was at the start of the movie. He helps all and sends them in a container to China. The movie ends here. Thanks for watching and subscribing, as it helps the channel.